Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Ava. And this is starring Jessica Chastain, and she's the producer on this, and it's like, I'm gonna make myself an action star. Film version, how many times this has happened at this point, but it seems like every big name actor at some point, whether they're still in their prime or well past their prime, is like, I'm gonna be an action star, action lead, and takes on an action film. And this is directed by Tate Taylor, who has the help, probably the most appreciated film that he's directed, but also has films like The Girl on the Train and Ma, which are very flawed films. And this is definitely along those lines in terms of there's potential here and a finer grasp and focus could have been something really special, but in the end it just feels like a bit of a mixed bag. And Ava is very much a mixed bag. And even like the action's a mixed bag, because there's points where it's really well staged action, and like Jessica Chastain delivers some great physicality in some of her fight scenes. There's also scenes where it's like there's a fight between Colin Farrell and John Malkovich that is so overly edited, probably because John Malkovich isn't the most believable person beating up someone at this point in his career. So I think they're obviously trying to hide some stunt double work here. And that scene should have had so much more intensity, which they have the build up there. But when it really comes to the action, it kind of takes you out of it because it's so distracting with how they had to put it together. But I'll get back to the acting soon. But in general, this film is... You've seen this before. At the very heart of it, this film feels like in a time of John Wick, they're trying to make an assassin movie, and there's like some greater background somewhere in there. Like, I even forget if they call it like the Syndicate or something like that. It's just like, okay, sounds like a hidden society of assassins that you'd find in an assassin movie at this point. And it really tries to be John Wick, even from like its thumping like soundtrack. There's even a nightclub scene at one point in this film, and in the end it's just like it's never quite like John Wick. The direction, the story, the mythology in the John Wick films are like next level, and this feels like a little derivative of that. It has its own specific moments. Like, this film does spend a lot of time on Ava as a character, but they're dealing with so many different subplots between, like, she's an alcoholic, she has this strained relationship with her mother, she has a strained relationship with her sister, and now her Ava's former lover and almost fiance, played by Common, who honestly doesn't bring a whole lot to this particular role. And they spent a lot of time building up like this tension between him and Ava, and now he is engaged to her sister, because we needed that like soap opera level melodrama to throw into this assassin action film. And that never really works, and they spend too much time with it. They bring in other subplots with Common's character that might lead to specific nightclub scene at one point, and like he's a gambling addict, and like Ava needs to bail him out, and it's just building up to so many scenes related to this underdeveloped romance that feels very forced, that it really distracts from what could have been a very straightforward, streamlined action flick. Just builds in all of this extra bloat to it. And like her thing as an assassin, she set up her thing at the very beginning of the film, this opening sequence of her doing her job, really questioning the former Mr. Fantastic from the original Fantastic Four movies, who she's like, why do they want to kill you? I have to know this. And that drive to know that makes her stand out as a killer. She's not just there to do her job, but that causes issues with her mentor's boss, played by Colin Farrell, her mentor being John Malkovich. They both don't have a whole lot to work with in this film, but they really bring it because it's Colin Farrell and John Malkovich. And Jessica Chastain is a strong lead in this film. Wish there was more depth to her character to work with, more than just some check boxes of dramatic things. But in the end, the acting delivers. There's a lot of charisma with the leading actors in this film. Maybe not common. And there's some solid action. There's some solid story in terms of the assassin parts. It's a little bit bloated of a script. But in the end, a running theme of this week is this seems like a movie. And there's a lot of movies that I've watched this week that haven't really transcended the point of like, this is your genre, this is like your little box, you're gonna sit in it, and that's about it. But in the end, I think Ava is a bit of a pass. There's other action films, honestly, that you could just rewatch that you'll get the same kind of idea, but more streamlined and a little more fleshed out and well done. But in the end, those are my thoughts on Ava. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.